I'm Louisa Nicola, and this is the Neuro Experience. Okay, so let's talk about Trimester Zero, the 3-month window prior to conceiving. What are the things that women should be aware of, or what should they be doing in that period?
Trimester Zero is the biggest game changer when it comes to fertility. The 100 days before you ovulate is the time when your egg is maturing. And during that time, your egg is the most sensitive to environmental factors, nutrients, diet, lifestyle, toxins. And so those 100 days are critical. So from a women's standpoint, we know, and we're going to go through 3 of these, like why are these critical? So number 1, you're building your nutrient reserves. When you get pregnant, by the time you see those 2 pink lines on the pregnancy test, the neural tubes have already closed. And you know that there are critical nutrients like choline and folate that support baby brain development, and those nutrients should be in abundance in your system, which is why it's important to take those nutrients way in advance. We also know that once you do get pregnant, it's really hard to stomach pills sometimes, and you have nausea. So you really want to make sure that you have this really good foundation, so that if you want to eat crackers and bread in your first trimester, that's totally fine and you don't have to stress about it. The second thing is sperm. I know we're talking about women, but sperm quality is so dynamic. Men produce 1,500 sperm every second. So they're constantly regenerating sperm, and in the 3 months before conception, they can completely transform their sperm quality, their count, their shape, their how they swim, all of the different parameters that are critical to fertility.
So sperm count, but there's also sperm quality.
Sperm quality, you have DNA damage. And then the third thing is really the power of epigenetics. You know, when you think about what you want to pass along to your children, a lot of times we think about like my hair color, my eye color, but really there's so much more that you're passing on. With diet and lifestyle and the power of nutrients, turn on and off certain genes that you pass along to your children. You can pass along your temperament, your stress. And so investing in Trimester Zero not only creates like the DNA blueprint for your children, but really sets them up for their entire life.
You know, it's so funny. I've got 2 older brothers, and I came along 10 years after, and I feel like my brothers and I are completely different personalities. And I always say to Mum, what were you doing during pregnancy with me that was different with the boys? And she can't answer that, obviously, but I'm like, there's something definitely different, because we're 3 different personalities.
I see it in my own 2 kids. I was so stressed with my first, also because I miscarried before her, and so everything in that pregnancy was high stress for me, and I was like nervous the whole time. And she's much more of like a worrywart, a little bit more like cautious. And then my second one, okay, I've done this. I knew I did all the prep. And she's so much more easygoing, go with the flow. And it's like, you never think of you passing on those type of things. You think about the more obvious stuff, but you see their temperaments are so aligned to what we're going through.
Okay, so I just want to reiterate. You've got choline or nutrition in Trimester Zero. You've got sperm, and then you've got the epigenetic changes that take place. So when we're talking about choline, obviously we're looking at, how many eggs can we have in that period as well, because egg yolk is saturated in choline. But it's not just about that. It's about the full spectrum of nutrition. Now, do these 3 things really come down to the mitochondria?
You nailed it, especially when it comes to egg quality.
I don't know if it's true, but the most amount of mitochondria are found in the ovaries.
Yeah, and in your eggs, you actually have 15,000 mitochondria, which is about 10x on any other cell in the body, because creating an embryo is the most energy reliant thing that your body is doing. And so they are very dense in mitochondria, and we talk about mitochondria all day long.
When I think about performance gear, I think about what supports movement, posture, and confidence, especially as a woman. And Honeylove makes bras and shapewear designed for women who understand function and form. And let me tell you, they are so fitted and they shape you so beautifully as a woman. Their Cloud Embrace bra has become one of my favorite. It's wire-free, breathable, and somehow manages to lift without digging in. Ladies know what I'm talking about. It's the perfect mix of support and ease, whether I'm traveling or recording all day. So if you want to treat yourself to the most intelligently designed shapewear on the market, go to honeylove.com/neuro for 20% off. Ladies, you won't be sorry. I've also posted about this on my social media and it went semi-viral. I think it's because of the way that it shapes me. It's honeylove.com/neuro. Let me get this right. Female eggs contain 15,000 mitochondria.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. So mitochondrial efficiency is probably the key to optimizing fertility. Is that correct?
100%. And we always talk about this because there is this idea that we're told, this narrative that we're told, and I was told this narrative when I had my miscarriage. My doctor looked at me and said, well, it just happens a lot after the age of 40. You know, this narrative of like, you are too old. And the new science is actually showing that your eggs don't age with you. Your eggs actually are like the time, as we spoke about, the trimester zero time frame is when your body is most influenced by your environment. And so what ages with you is really your mitochondria. We talk about mitochondria. It's very, very important. And focusing on egg quality is way more important than focusing on egg quantity, because at the end of the day, the thing that impacts pregnancy loss and infertility is chromosomal errors in your egg. And so you want to make sure that you're limiting the errors, and the way you limit the errors is by focusing on improving your mitochondria.
I thought that miscarriages occurred due to sperm malfunctioning.
It could be both.
Okay, 50-50?
I mean, that's our story.
That's approximately, yeah. So that was the shocking data that we found. We found that typically people are scrutinizing the women on, and there is the truth to like the whole egg conversation. There is the truth that we're born with a couple million eggs, 1 to 2 million. By the age of 37, we might have 20,000, give or take, and we are losing them every month. But to Ronit's point, the quality is what matters. And I think so much of this myth busting is important because women feel like damaged goods after a certain age, or they think they have no eggs after the age of 35. And we've met with fertility doctors. There's a lot of fear mongering in this world because there's big businesses trying to pry on that fear. But we're here to say that there's really so much you can do, and there's so much nutrients play a part for both partners, and there's a lot of optimism in this world.
This whole infertility world is spotlighted right now, and we've got supplements being sold. We've got misunderstandings around certain activities that you should be doing. Should you be working out at this pace? Should you not be working out at this pace? Like, it's really daunting for a woman who is trying to conceive.
Yeah. I mean, if you just look at our grandparents' generation or even our parents till now, our world is so dramatically different than it was 50 years ago. If you think about food quality, air quality, the things that we're living amongst, things we're putting in our body, products in our homes, in our bathrooms, in our kitchens, like there is so much we're exposed to on a daily basis that I do believe our parents and our grandparents were not. And even my favorite example about food quality is that even if you're eating for fertility, it's your full-time job. We know nutritionists. There is no way anymore to get a full spectrum of nutrients from food like our grandparents could. 1 orange in their generation is equivalent to eating 8 oranges today. So you get the idea that even if you're eating organic, eating clean, eating the Mediterranean diet, which by the way has the most proven stats for fertility, it's, eating the rainbow, there's no way to get it all from food. Because my mom always said, why do you take supplements? Like, why do you need it? They didn't believe in that because they could get it from food. And now our food is depleted. Our soils from farming is depleted of it. Sometimes food could take up to 1,500 miles to get to our plate. So the nutrients are diminished by the time we're eating it. And 70% of Americans are eating or the diets are over-processed, ultra-processed foods.
So why do women need to take CoQ10 to enhance their fertility?
So CoQ10 supports mitochondria. I just want to say some supplements have CoQ10, but it needs to be in the right dosages because you want to make sure that you have enough of it to actually make a difference. And then PQQ is another nutrient that actually creates mitochondria. Taking nutrients like CoQ10, NAC, PQQ, alpha lipoic acid, and L-carnitine, all those 5 together improve your mitochondria. You take only in the pre-pregnancy trimester 0 timeframe. You don't take it while you're pregnant.